Hey, what's up guys? It's Nick from Fit Futures here with yet another answer to yet another question. Today's question comes from Jasmine in Auckland, and it's almost a cry for help. Jasmine's question is, Nick, I think I'm suffering from burnout. What can I do? Well, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you mean burnout in general, but we'll first rehash what we know about the general adaptation syndrome developed by Hans Selye, and we'll discuss what that means when we apply it to training, and then I'll hit you with a little bit of truth thereafter. So with the general adaptation syndrome, as I have discussed previously, we apply that to stresses imposed on the body from a training perspective, so physiologically. What I mean by that is a training stimulus. So when we train, whether that be through cardio or maybe weight training, let's take weight training as the example. Let's say we're performing back squats. We've got some weight and we're applying it to the body. It is a new stressor. We're going to take some time to adapt to the stress. The beauty is that if the stress is optimal and we have some rest and relaxation involved there, that we will adapt to that stress. But the issue there is if we don't rest, if we do not relax, and it is either too hard a stimulus or it is applied chronically, which means too long in terms of duration or too frequently, that is when we may suffer burnout. But burnout to us in a physiological sense just means overtraining. But as I've said previously, overtraining means under recovery. So that means our rest and our relaxation isn't there, or it isn't where it needs to be in order for us to actually adapt to the stimulus that has been applied. So from a physiological standpoint, rest, relaxation, recovery is absolutely critical. So outside of the big three being hydration and nutrition and good sleep, there is a couple of 1%ers there that you could use. That is where people start discussing ice bars and compression garments and things like that. With my background in strength and conditioning and with football, we typically employ periodization when we are structuring the training year. And what we do is we utilize a loading paradigm, which is called 3-to-1. Basically what that means is for 3 weeks, we will progressively overload the training stimulus, and then for 1 week, we will completely remove the training stimulus or drop it, which would be referred to as a deload. The idea is that the adaptations don't actually occur while we are training. The adaptations occur while we are resting, and we are after that adaptation, that supercompensation. That's a little bit of background on the general adaptation syndrome. Now to answer Jasmine's question, when Hans Selye developed the general adaptation syndrome, it wasn't just for physiological training, it was for all stresses. So that can be things at work, that can be things at home, that can be any other stresses that you can think of. So my advice to you, Jasmine, is to take a break. I was reading a publication recently where researchers demonstrated that by taking a 7 to 10 day break, you can increase productivity in the workplace, you can increase your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself, and generally de-stress, which is ultimately, Jasmine, what you are after. They also guarantee that if you were to take at least 7 to 10 days or some kind of extended break from the stresses imposed on your everyday life, that the benefits of that will last for a month or more, which is tremendous. However, the catch, and this is where it's important as well to make sure that we're mindful of what the stresses actually are, that what is contributing to our burnout can be identified. If we were to take 7 to 10 days off and return to the stress as it was, then within 2 to 3 weeks we're just back at square one, which means that we can find ourselves in a vicious cycle of taking time off, alleviating the stress, and then ending up stressed out all over again. A wise man told me recently, and I'm not going to name him, I don't want to embarrass him, but a wise man told me very recently that you shouldn't burn yourself out doing everything for someone else. So Jasmine, I hope that resonated with you this morning and answered your question. Just take a break. And guys, if you want to check out our other content, click the link below and keep posted. There's plenty more where that came from. Until next time, guys, keep well.